Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Friends You Can Keep podcast. I have a fountain soda tonight, so you don't get the nice pop top
Nope.
intro.
I don't.
Yeah, I have a nice. And there goes the microphone. Why don't you put it in a little further on the table?
I don't know where it went. Oh, I found it. No, it's because I was tapping.
Well, you can probably it'll pick you up. Put it by the actual microphone. It'll pick you up all the way back there. Yeah. So I don't have a pop top. I have a fountain beverage from Wawa, not a sponsor, but you could be if you wanted to be. If anyone knows anybody at Wawa, feel free to have them reach out. They are better than Sheetz. I will put that out there right now.
Well, we don't have a Sheetz.
But we passed Sheetz, and I will not stop at Sheetz.
Their coffee's not good.
I don't know.
Disappointing.
I haven't had their coffee, but I know Wawa is. The only time I've ever actively gone into a Sheetz was when we went to Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, and
that they don't have Wawa.
But I wonder if you go to somewhere where like Sheetz is your only option, if they're better.
Probably not.
Or if you just go in for gas.
Even around here, where you're seeing a Sheetz is your only option.
Oh, right.
The only time you really ran into like where they were close was there was that Sheetz up in like I forget
Fleetwood.
I forget exactly what that is. It's you go through Douglasville and 422.
Yeah.
Up there, I was now closed, but like there was a Sheetz there, and that's kind of in like the heart because like a little further back this way was a Wawa, and a little further past it was a Wawa.
Yeah, so you're right. That was at least in Wawa territory.
Yeah, but usually,
so we used to stop at the one in the mountains a lot, and like their convenience stuff is fine.
Yeah,
if you're just going in for like a soda and stuff, but I don't think that their food compares. But I also have only had like a handful of things, so I don't really want to weigh in because I don't know.
I went once with a bunch of drunks and drove over a median that I didn't know was there because I didn't know where I was.
You can't. You can't take any of that out on Sheetz.
And we sat in the Sheetz parking lot for an hour waiting for his food to be done, and it was 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, I don't even think it was that late.
I'm pretty sure wasn't that bar closed.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, even still, we'll say 1 o'clock. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and we sat in that parking lot for a solid 45 minutes minimum, waiting for his food to be done.
Well, because they forgot it.
Bullshit. Fuck you, Sheetz.
Which is weird. I don't know how that happens at a place that just prints out slips.
I don't know.
Unless like someone pulled your slip and then just like immediately forgot.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they don't pull slips. Well, I don't know. At Wawa, it's on a computer screen. So I used to work at Wawa. It's on the computer screen right there.
Yeah, but like...
And it doesn't go away until you clear it.
But doesn't it then like print the slip?
You get the slip. But they don't print the slip till it's done. So like the slip you get on your hoagie at Wawa...
Yeah, is when it's done.
It's when it's done. So they don't get the slip in advance.
So his would have just been sitting up there.
It's on the screen, and then when your hoagie is done, they hit whatever button. So somebody and it prints out the slip for number 135, and then you tape it to the hoagie, and you send them on their way.
So somebody must have hit it by accident.
Somebody must have cleared it.
Yeah.
Or something, but...
Somehow.
I don't know. But yeah, feel free, Wawa, if you'd like to sponsor us. I would ask for a Coke sponsorship, but I can't imagine that's going to happen.
Do they do that?
I have no idea.
I've never.
Why wouldn't they? Pepsi sponsors a ton of shit.
Yeah, but like.
Yes, Pepsi is the inferior brand, but
like, do they go down to where it's like just an individual like podcast?
I don't know. These are modern times, Kelly. They can do whatever they want.
No,
they
this
could.
Company's like looking for.
They could if they wanted to. They don't have to, but they could if they wanted to.
They could if they wanted to, but I feel like it's wasted money because they don't need that kind of publicity.
Sick could also sponsor us.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what that cup is. You have a ton of them. They're great cups. I mean, I don't. I don't know what it is about this cup because I do love. So before the bougie train comes rolling in, we ourselves can't really afford Yeti products. So for Christmas, I asked for a bunch of Yeti products. My parents bought us Yetis, and we've gotten Yetis as gifts, but we don't really buy them ourselves.
No, yeah, the Yetis we were purchased as either for us as
or
gifts,
someone else gave them to us,
or they were because mine were from you.
Yes, I got you like for Christmas one year. I got you the stemless wine glasses or whatever they were,
and my coffee cup.
and your coffee cup. Yes, I got you the Yeti coffee cup. But
But again,
I like this better than my Yeti.
So do I.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
It's the way. It's the shape.
But
it's the same amount of ounces.
But see, I don't have an issue with the shape of a Yeti cup.
It's hard for me to hold.
I don't know what it. I just don't know what it is. I got this from my aunt because she is an obsessive with it comes to these things. I mean, I don't want to. She doesn't listen to this, but I don't want to go there. She's borderline a hoarder, but
well, and like a bit of a shopaholic is a piece of it too.
Yeah,
but the stuff that she has, like the cups that she has, are all like good cups.
Yeah, she buys quality stuff. She's not just buying like trash.
Yeah. But she just like when she buys one, she just buys a lot of them.
Yeah,
that's all. That's like.
So yeah, let's get back into the swing of things here. Now that I'm done begging for sponsors. So I have 3 notes to just get out of the way before we do anything else. I didn't realize this was the thing. I saw something about it before, but I was on to the TikTok app on TV is very different than the TikTok app on your phone. So like the TikTok on my phone is a For You page that is like for me.
Right.
The one on the TV, I think, is just giving you random TikToks. Like your account is signed in, but I don't think that app is.
So it's not the same.
The television app is not really.
You wouldn't get the same videos on.
Because I'm pretty sure on the TV app, like I can't go to my profile, I can't go to my messages. Like it's just the videos.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through the other day. I got one that was essentially a chain email.
Oh.
For those of you that don't know what that is, it was essentially like
do this or you'll have bad luck for.
Do this or you'll have bad luck. Do that, like you get real aggressive with them, where like Candyman's gonna come to your house, like real creepy shit like that.
Or like
there was varying
your
levels.
Wish will come true.
There was varying levels,
but it was always forward this to so many people.
So the one I saw was literally, something about watching the TikTok, and then I think you got like if you watched the video he was going to show and talk about, you would get a sleep paralysis demon. Now, here's my thing though that made me hysterically laugh. Is okay, I'm going to talk about this video. If you watch the video that I'm about to talk about, you will get a sleep paralysis demon. The only way I can protect you from this sleep paralysis demon is, and I wrote this down so I remembered, I can only protect my subscribers who like, comment, and watch this video until the end. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What the hell?
This is the stupidest thing.
What's a sleep paralysis demon?
You don't know what a sleep paralysis demon is?
No.
Oh, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I mean, I know what sleep paralysis is.
They did this in... Oh, was it Haunting of Bly Manor? One of the Mike Flanagan shows. So essentially, from what I understand... So sleep paralysis is where you cannot move.
Right.
I think a sleep paralysis demon is when you cannot move. Like imagine like, so you can't move and you have the sensation that like you can't breathe. What you're seeing with a sleep paralysis demon is you are seeing something choking you. Or like in the haunting of, I'm pretty sure it's the Haunting of Bly Manor. It's a woman at the foot of her bed. And then eventually in the show, spoiler alert, it's an old show, so fuck off if you haven't seen it. Eventually it kills her boyfriend.
So are we supposed to believe this thing is real?
Well, what you find out at the end of that show is the sleep paralysis demon that she's seeing is her.
Oh, so she's like sleepwalking.
No, it's a weird.
She's having like an out of body experience.
No, because it's her. So the way she dies in the show, what you're seeing. So the episodes you're watching are taking place like in this order. This episode, she dies, and they show you that the way that she dies, I forget what happens, but her neck is broken. And her neck is broken in the way of like her head is like this, and you can see like her spine sticking out, not out through the skin, but like it's pushing on the skin.
Ew.
Looks like a dinosaur almost. That's her sleep paralysis demon. So what you're seeing is like the sleep paralysis demon she had was her after she was already dead. It's hard. It sounds like nonsense to explain, but
are people saying this?
I don't know
real?
how it works in real life. I don't know.
They're not real.
I don't know how to look at. You can look it up if you want. I don't know how it works in real life, and I don't really care to dwell on it.
That's weird.
Speaking of, before we go any further, I didn't talk about this. I probably could have talked about it last time, I think. I don't remember exactly when I finished it. But I did finish, speaking of Mike Flanagan, The Fall of the House of Usher. You haven't watched his shows. We're going to watch Midnight Mass at some point. We're going to at least watch episode 1 of Midnight Mass. I shouldn't say that.
I don't want to.
We're going to watch episode 1. I rewatched all of Midnight Mass. It was fantastic. The Fall of the House of Usher is very good. It is a different animal from his other shows because I think it relies... They all rely on story, but I think because this one is based off of an existing work by Edgar Allan Poe, like it more heavily relies on story. And so it has a very different feel from his other shows because I've seen mixed reviews of it and I understand people who don't like it as much, but it's very good. If you are a fan of Mike Flanagan stuff, if you're a fan of horror stuff, I suggest you watch it. Other notes I have written down. Not sure why this came into my head. I think someone mentioned it on a podcast, like said the phrase or in a show. Number one, I haven't heard the term girlfriends in a very long time. In the sense of
girlfriends.
I think that's actually what I thought of, and that made me think of this. In the sense of like, if you were going out with Sarah and Lauren or whatever like that, you would say like,
my girlfriends.
I'm going out with my girlfriends. Like, I don't know that I've heard that term used in that way in a very long time. But
I never really used it, so I don't know.
I don't know that a lot of people did, but like it was.
I think it was more of like a pop culture.
It was on TV. Yeah, like you heard it. But my follow up to that is, why was it never acceptable for
boyfriends
that to be boyfriends? Like,
well, homophobia. That's why.
Yes, that is true. But why isn't it the same with?
Because it's
I'm going out with my girlfriends. That's also gay.
Because it's not weird for like.
Because I'm going out with my girlfriends. They're friends who are girls. Well, I'm going out with my boyfriends. My friends who are boys.
Right, but you don't use like, for you to refer to your friends as boys feels inappropriate. Not to me, but like, you know,
in the 90s.
In general, it feels inappropriate for a man to call another man boy. So like the correct thing for you to say would be my man friends. And
my gentleman friends.
That's worse. Like my man friends is worse.
Oh, I thought you were saying my gentleman friends.
No, that's just weird.
My gentleman friends.
Well, I guess not, because like then eventually it just became like, oh, I'm going out with the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturdays are for the boys. Was the big thing like last year or 2 years ago.
Like, it's so stupid.
I just remember seeing shit on social media about it, and I'm like,
is it because of sports?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't know where the shit comes from.
We know a lot about sports.
I just remember seeing. I mean, my favorite video recently. I think the video existed before this whole Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, but people have been sharing it now. as like Swifties at football games, and I don't know what game it is. It's just a girl being interviewed like at a tailgate, and I forget what the guy asks. He's like, "Oh, who are you rooting for today?" Like I forget what the guy is asking her, and she's just very generic, like, "Oh yeah, sports, like whatever,"
Yeah,
and
sports
like,
ball.
I just hope both teams have fun.
That's me.
I really want the shirt that just says sports on it. I've seen it a ton of places, and I've never bought it, but I do. I want it's just like a blue. It looks like a vintage T-shirt. It just says sports across the chest, and I'm like, that's the shirt I want. Because I could give a shit about sports. Like I don't care at all. But then when we go to people's houses for the Super Bowl, like I just want like sports. I'm here. Sports.
I'm just here for the social aspect.
Philly fanatic.
I mean, we do like the Phillies. Baseball doesn't count.
Did you see the video I shared of the Mets? I think it was the Mets. The manager fighting the Fanatic.
No,
I shared it on Facebook today. Hysterical. It's from the 90s, I think.
Oh.
It's very funny.
I may have seen it before.
I mean, you can like him without liking baseball, also, because he nearly killed that one with a hot dog gun.
I mean, he's done tons of stuff. He breaks people's glasses.
He steps on people all the time, shoves them over, but like he nearly killed a woman with a hot dog gun. Well, a year or two ago, top notch.
I'm sure he probably had. Well, I know he's had lawsuits.
She had it coming, is what you're saying.
No, I know that he has.
Yeah,
he has many lawsuits.
Him and Gritty. Top notch.
Well, I don't know if Gritty has any.
Top notch. Well, no, I'm
sure he does because he's the same.
I was saying top tier mascots.
It's the same look.
It's him and Gritty. When you think baseball mascots, you think Philly Fanatic and Mr. Met. You don't think of Mr. Met in like a high regarded way.
No, it's just because I don't know.
You think of Mr. Met as a piece of shit, but you think of the Philly Fanatic as like top notch.
He's like always in my mind. I always think of him. I don't know like who said like, oh, he's just like a little bit vulgar, like a tiny bit, because he's always like flopping his belly at people or whatever. But like, it's not inappropriate. He's not doing anything wrong. No. It's just that little. It's like just over the edge of like. He's not just standing there waving.
Yeah.
And he like flashes his butt at people and stuff.
My favorite is when his little tongue comes out.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It's rare that he does it. He doesn't do it often. When you hear the like whatever sound it makes. My last note, if you are watching this on YouTube, which you should be, you should also be listening to it on the podcast side, but whatever. We now have a opening like title card kind of thing and a closing card. They are the same thing. Now, because I didn't just go ahead and do it, I kept it side saddled for now. I wanted to get the opinion of my co-host. I wanted to get the opinion of the people. Because I thought this might be, to me, I think it is hysterical. I think it is very funny. I thought maybe, though, it could be a bridge too far.
It's probably too far.
So, to give you an idea of why Kelly immediately assumes it's a bridge too far, I'm just going to say he's my uncle. It's my aunt's boyfriend, but they've been together for, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, really, it's her husband.
Yeah, they are common law married. So my uncle recently had one of his legs amputated, and she asked me which size shoe I wear to give me some of his shoes if I wanted them. And this was not long after he had his leg amputated.
No.
A month maybe?
Yeah, like long, but not really long.
Yeah. And I made the joke of like, well, I don't want just one. And I like her initial reaction made me think like that might not have been.
I think she just did not realize what you said.
Well, she did laugh, but her laugh almost sounded like it almost had the tone of sarcasm with a hint of like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found out later on that she was talking to my brother, I guess, about the same thing, and then said my joke to him. And I'm like, well, that's how you know she thought it was funny, because she repeated it to someone else.
Right, and it wasn't, she didn't repeat it like, can you believe what he said? She repeated it like you repeat something that you heard.
Yeah.
I think it was just, it like caught her off guard.
Probably. Yeah. So to give you an idea of why Kelly immediately assumes why it's going to be Bridge Too Far. So our show is called The Friends You Can Keep. When you put it together as an acronym, it is just the word fuck. For those of you that have not been here since episode 1, that is what my mom used to write in kids' yearbooks in high school.
But she had to change it to a Y.
She had to change it to a Y because she got in trouble. And that's why I chose it as the name of the show. We mulled around different ideas for the show title, and then for some reason one day I thought of that, and it just clicked that it was. I thought it was amazing the second she told me that. It was also jarring because it is not something I could see my mother doing.
Why? I definitely could.
I don't know. It also just seemed like because she graduated high school in 1985, and for some reason to me that didn't seem like something like I don't know. It just didn't scream that era to me. But so that is why in our logo I put a heart there, so it's not just the word fuck everywhere. So that is a bit of an homage to our roots because of the love sign. But
right.
So my idea was, and it would be spelled out the way it is spelled out. So on our title card is The Friends You Can Keep. It's not the F. Our logo is the F heart CK. But on the title card it is spelled out The Friends You Can Keep. So the closing credit song. I have an hour of time to kill.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what this thing is.
The closing. So the opening would be the same. I would not change that at all. The opening would stay that. The closing card, it would be the same font, the same design. But instead of The Friends You Can Keep, same as on both ends, it's a bookend kind of thing. Because it is the end, I was going to do...
I feel like it's going to be so stupid.
I was going to do See You Next Time. But just the letter C and the letter
absolutely not. No. You think you're going to sponsorship with that at the end of your video?
It's spelled out.
No one is stupid.
I'm not saying they are.
No. You can't put that at the end. No. It's like the worst word in the English language. No. No.
Oh my god. I thought it was hysterical.
You could put something else.
Sound off in the comments. I thought it was hysterical.
I mean, it's funny, but you still can't put it.
I thought it was very funny. I just can't. I can't stop thinking about it now. There's a great clip. I want to watch it. The new Bill Burr movie on Netflix called Old Dads.
Oh.
There's a great clip making the rounds as promotion where it's I don't know whose girlfriend it is, I don't know. But she's talking to Bill Burr. They don't show what Bill Burr says first. They just show her responding to it and then his response back to her. So her talking to him is whatever his name in the movie is. Saying the word cunt to a woman is like saying the N-word to a black person.
Yikes.
And he responds like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that. Other than like the 400 years of slavery and stuff, but sure. And it just shows her like, and that's the end of the clip, but I thought it was hilarious. Because I always just think like, I don't throw the C word around all the time. I'm not saying it often, but I do find it hysterical that like, much like everything else we do in America, every other country is like fine with that word. And then Americans are like, how dare you?
It is weird the connotation it has here versus
we don't say cunt and we don't use the metric system.
It's weird, but even to say the F word is like such a big deal here, and in other countries it's not.
Oh no, see. Yeah.
In Ireland, it is absolutely no big deal to say the F word.
To say the word fuck in America to normal people is not a big deal. I think we have a much higher populace of like,
but even like
these dumbass, hoity-toity, white-collar, stay-at-home moms that are, my child, you should be censoring what you do. It shouldn't be my job to do it.
But even like
we have to change the opening.
Doesn't the FCC, like, you can only say the F word 2 times in a movie and then it's rated R?
Well,
so it's not even like...
That is like the general, but it also depends on the context.
If I use it as a verb or...
So what I always knew from the
exclamation?
movie, I think it was in Be Cool, is that you say it once, you can get PG-13. The second you say it twice, it is rated R. But I don't know if they've changed it, or if that wasn't always the case, or if that was just
It definitely wasn't always the case.
Or if that was just the broad definition of it. Because I did see something else that, like, if you're using it in a sexual manner,
oh,
it's different than if you're just using it.
Right, if you just said, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I said, like, if you use it as a verb, it's a little different.
But I do think, like, yeah, I think...
Maybe, do other countries not have that? Do they not, like, use the sexual connotation? Only, like, Americans have that it's also a slang?
No, they definitely use the sexual connotation, but...
Because, like, in European countries, like, people just say it all the time and no one cares.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like, oh, is there just, like, no sexual connotation?
I don't know. I mean, we're also viewing this as Americans looking abroad.
Right, maybe they don't.
Could have just as, people there could have just as big an issue, but it's just not as prominent on social media as it is.
Well, and the
in
people
America.
that we're seeing from Europe,
because I'm pretty sure, like that
comedians
Bluey episode,
and actors. Yeah,
like the Bluey episode where Bandit says he's getting fat, and Bluey and Chili agrees with him. Had to get edited to be on TV. I'm 99% certain the woman who made the biggest stink about that was an American.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was also like
she has to be American.
A children's dietary expert or something like that, and I'm like,
it had to be American because it all airs first over there, and then we get
but we haven't gotten that episode yet. Is my point. So I don't know. I don't know that she was American.
Yeah, we did.
That episode has not come to America yet. I watched it on TikTok.
Oh, that's why we saw it.
I actually don't think we even saw the whole episode. But I don't know. We did see it, and then like a week after we saw it.
Well, maybe she saw it on TikTok.
A week after we saw it, they're like, "Nope, you got to take that out of the beginning." So fucking stupid.
And it wasn't like she just. Because they said what? It was fat shaming? Yeah. No, they say they both have to go on a diet.
No, the complaint was not that. The complaint is that Bandit gets on the scale, and I forget what he says.
I think he just says like, "Oh, Bandit."
No, it's something more specific.
About needing to go on a diet.
And then Chili agrees with him. But what nothing ever focuses on is that Chili says the same thing about herself. Like the end of the cold open is she then gets on the scale and does the same thing.
Right.
I'll look it up. Fat shaming controversy. I don't think it was even fat shaming. I think it was
it was
body positivity.
No, right. It was teaching kids or like introducing dieting to kids.
Also, folks, I apologize for going full Christina P on your mom's house here, but like I fucking can't stand this shit.
Well, it was just sort of like, why can't they just say that like?
Critics said the show could lead to young viewers developing worries about their own bodies.
Right.
Oh, you mean like everything fucking else on TV and the internet and movies?
But
piss off.
It was done in a way where it didn't. It more seemed like...
The episode Exercise begins with Bluey's father, Bandit, weighing himself while Bluey is in the bathtub. Oh man, I just need to do some exercise, Bandit says. Bluey's mother, Chili, replies, tell me about it. Bandit looks at himself in the mirror, holding his sides. Why don't you just do some exercise, Bluey asks. That section of the show has now been cut after some parents and health experts raised concerns on social media about body shaming.
I mean, I don't know, because our kids are not big enough.
Some say they did not want their children to see adults being dissatisfied with the shape of their bodies and only using exercise to lose weight. but others said it was an overreaction to the episode that prompted the value of exercise.
Yeah, like if the notion is like it's not unrealistic for them to see an adult being sort of like, oh, put on some weight. Doesn't mean, like, at no point do they say that they're fat. At no point do they say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just sort of like the notion of like, oh, I should work out more. I don't know that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Also, exercise is good for you whether you want to lose weight or not.
The decision was welcomed by Dr. Laura Renshaw. I don't know what the fuck that last name is. A senior lecturer at Bournemouth University and an expert on eating disorders and mental illness. I think it's extremely important that we have discussions around healthy eating and exercise, but more from a health perspective rather than from a fat shaming perspective.
But I don't think that was fat shaming at all.
It's also not. It's also watch, like, people having a gripe about that is the epitome of the trend of tell me you've done this without telling me you've done this. Tell me you don't watch Bluey without telling me you don't watch Bluey. Because the whole point of that show is like everything they're doing is like kind of rooted in reality.
Right.
You can bullshit people all you want. You and your partner at some point have gotten on the scale in your bathroom and not been happy about the number that's there. Like,
right,
and you've talked about it.
Or like,
so for you to like,
oh, yeah,
you should take this down. Like so I get your whole argument against it, but now you're painting an unrealistic image for your child. This doesn't happen.
Right, that nobody ever, like, no matter what the number says,
you're see that their parents are dissatisfied with their bodies. Cool.
But they're probably going to see it.
So at some point, you've been dissatisfied with your body. And are you making sure you hide from your children when that happens?
Right. Like, the whole point, and I think you have to watch the episode as a whole. Don't take, like, just that one little piece.
I did not see that episode, but I like how Bandit is so playful with his kids. And I think that if they can promote a way of doing exercise for fun rather than to lose weight, it's great.
But like, my thought would just be, it was more so to, like, get healthy.
Dr. Alina Telford, a child and adolescent clinical psychologist, said it was not possible to predict how the Bluey episode could affect children, but she added, it is reasonable to conclude that it is likely to have been unhelpful to at least some children and young people who internalize such messages and use their body weight and shape as a way to measure their own self-worth. It is important to add that our relationship to body image, food, exercise, and health are highly complex, and simplification of these difficulties maintain unhelpful and often derogating narratives about what it means to be different shapes and sizes. She added, I am pleased that ABC heard the concern of the public and acted accordingly. In my opinion, their response isn't censorship. It's responsible and responsive
ABC.
Broadcasting. It's not the ABC you're thinking of. It's responsible and responsive broadcasting, and that at least is one thing to be celebrated. No, it's 1000% censorship.
Yeah.
Whenever you are taking someone's art that has been put out into the world and changing it to fit the narrative that you want to be put out, you are censoring their artwork.
Yeah, just...
Because your whole bullshit of, like, likely to have been unhelpful to at least some children and young people. I hate to break it to you fucking people. Not every piece of media is made for every single person on the planet.
Right, how were they, like, there's no chance. Every episode
saying that this episode should be changed because some of the kids watching it could be harmed by it.
But then, like, every single episode of every single kid show could be harmful.
Yeah. I don't know. There is an article that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to pull it up on my iPad. Because we've talked about many things like this on the show before. And I thought this one would be fun because it is not a Rolling Stone article.
Oh, good.
I know your disdain for the Rolling Stone.
Hate them.
I mean, they put out some great...
I don't care.
...listicle things.
They don't.
They do.
They don't.
They do.
Well, maybe they should have some journalistic integrity.
Where are you? Where are you? There we go. A Hollywood Reporter, so a bit more credible resource.
Probably not. It's really worse
than the Rolling Stone. Not really.
I don't know.
Not really. A Hollywood Reporter. So this is not. So Rolling Stone does like. We sent this out to writers and critics and this and that and the other thing. Hollywood Reporter critics pick the 50 best TV shows of the 21st century so far.
21st?
Yes, 21st.
I was like, haven't we done this like a lot?
No.
So this is what, 2000 to now? 21st?
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah, because 20th century was 19.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's going to be Breaking Bad's number 1.
So number 50. So see, some of these are 50 already. I would not have expected to be on here. Let's see if there's any.
Because like every show you could think of from the 90s was probably still on.
Back in April, THR's team of intrepid film critics got together and ranked the 50 best films of the 21st century so far, delivering a list that was fascinating, head-scratching, and packed with cinematic greatness. Like all well-conceived lists, it offered room for enthusiastic agreement and virulent disagreement, as well as a guarantee that any title you had yet to see was surely worth checking out. The list began with an important question: why now? Their conclusive answer: why not? This makes it even easier for us to justify our own stab at the same project. Why rank the best TV shows of the past 24 years, which isn't even a quarter of a century, right now? Because the film critics did it first, and it looked like a lot of fun.
I mean, it is 24 years. Is
the
still
next
a long
sentence
time.
was, it was not fun. There were around, holy shit. Okay, that sounded exactly accurate. Debating great TV is always fun, but the past 24 years have been a television boomtown, not to be confused with the NBC drama Boomtown, which didn't receive much consideration, though its first season was excellent. Whether you call it a golden age, expand the boundaries of John Landgraf's peak TV well beyond its actual definition, or just employ the hashtag too much TV hashtag, there's little doubt that the television landscape on December 31st, 1999 had almost no resemblance to what the kids are watching on their iWatches today. There were 600 original shows airing on broadcast, cable, and streaming in 2022 alone.
600?
600 original scripted shows.
Wow.
That it was already hard enough to list the 50 best shows of last year as a luxury problem. We're living through the greatest era of television content ever, and that's fantastic, but it makes listing very challenging. It's likely that we excluded at least 5 of your favorite shows ever. We apologize. We had to start with parameters. We agreed that any show that had episodes airing after December 31st, 1999 was eligible for consideration, even if that show first premiered in the 20th century.
Friends, Seinfeld.
See, I kind of have a gripe with that. I mean, I get it, but also, like, if season 5 of a television show is airing in, I guess it would more depend on when they went off the air. Because The Simpsons is still going, so I'll give you that. Like, they didn't debut in the 20th century and then went off the air in 2001. Like,
right.
You can't be in the 21st century for 2 seasons and still be called one of the best shows of the 21st century. That's bullshit.
Right, because you were created in the 90s.
You were created and started in the 1990s. Like,
yeah.
Or
in the Simpsons case, wasn't that in the 80s?
Yeah.
But they're still on, so they can...
Their first... When did that Christmas special air?
I have no idea.
Because I think, if I remember correctly, Season 1...
It might have been 1991.
Episode 1. Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. When did you air?
Should say it right under it.
It doesn't. Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. Air date, December 17th, 1989.
Oh. So, I mean, that would also be...
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
even if that show first premiered in the 20th century, that meant, for example, The Sopranos was eligible, but only for the 5 seasons that. Okay. So they're not counting the seasons before 2000.
So, right. So if it went downhill.
So only for the 5 seasons that aired from 2000 on. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was eligible, but it lost 3.5 seasons. You get the idea. The next parameter was harder to set and entailed more bickering. We decided that while the volume of available international television has expanded exponentially in the streaming era, it's hard to feel like we've seen a representative output of, say, the Korean TV industry. To avoid claiming authority based on such a limited sample, we decided to restrict the list to English language options. That said, we collectively urge everybody to watch HBO's My Brilliant Friend. Required 3 critics to co-author one list meant we went to a tentative and amorphous blob of several hundred contenders to a more refined blob that was still over 100. We watched and rewatched countless episodes, a task that was frequently a real pleasure. And in a handful of multi-hour Zooms, we deliberated on every single one of those contenders and then spent hours hashing out placement.
All right, let's get to the list.
Yeah, I was just making sure there wasn't anything else.
I want to know what they picked.
Okay, so number 50, and I'm just going to blow through these. If there's anything that you think, like, this needs justification, I will read through the whole blurb. 50 is Sex and the City.
Okay.
Ran from 98 to 2004.
Oh, so that one was pretty rooted in...
Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the animated one.
Okay.
The show, obviously. The movie was live action. Southside, Comedy Central, and Max, 2019 to 2022.
Wow.
I feel like I've heard of it, but Vita on Stars, never heard of it. The Underground Railroad on Amazon Prime. The Crown.
I have been watching it.
Oh my fucking god. Number 44 is The Leftovers.
Still not watching it.
You should. I'm really mad that you won't even give episode. You have to give one episode a chance.
Stupid.
I'm going to give you the same deal we did with Midnight Mass. You have to watch one episode. You should. It's very good.
I don't care. I just don't
very
want
good.
to. It doesn't. The trailer made it look awful. It was way too dramatic.
That's because the trailer. You have just one episode.
No.
If even Jason told you it was good, if 2 people are telling you it's good, you should watch it.
I don't care. He's my brother. He can tell me to watch whatever he wants. I'm still gonna say no, thank you.
Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he had
Station 11. I heard of that show. Beef. Oh my god, this show is so fucking weird.
Nope, never heard of it.
It's that one with Ali Wong and Steven Yeun.
Oh, Scary.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, the trailer preview thingies made it look like it was.
It's A24, so it's just fucking weird. Like, I like A24, but at some point you can't just rely. Like, I don't know. They have this weird thing of, like, you have a totally normal movie, and then for some reason, at the end, in the middle, there's just some super weird, out of place fucking sequence that's just like, this is just weird for the sake of, like, we have to put a weird thing in here because we're A24.
Right, like something has to be shocking.
Like, not even shocking, like, just fucking weird. It can be dumb weird, funny weird, like, it's just weird, period. And, like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm watching an A24 movie.
It's like Bollywood, where there's like the dance break.
Or a movie that, like, doesn't need to be a horror movie, but then for some reason it's terrifying, and it's like, oh yeah, this is an A24 movie.
Yeah. It had a feel of like that was going to be very scary.
Insecure from HBO. The Deuce from HBO.
I haven't heard of a lot of these.
Band of Brothers.
I've heard of it, didn't see it.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Heard of it, didn't see it.
The Shield.
Didn't watch it.
Chernobyl. Oh my god, that was so good.
Didn't watch it, but I want to.
Chernobyl was so good. Jane the Virgin.
I think it's going to be sad, but...
Chernobyl?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Well, I mean, the whole thing was sad.
Yeah, but it's not...
Because aren't people still, like, real fucked up?
Oh, yeah, the whole area is still fucked up.
Like, birth defects and
33
stuff.
I don't agree with. 33 is Orange is the New Black. Fuck off. That show is terrible.
Yeah, well, it started really good, but...
That show was good for, like, 2 seasons. And then we didn't finish it.
No, and I even tried to go back, and I was...
Because that show went from being, like, great season 1, great season 2, and then like season 3. How many seasons were there?
There's a little 6.
Did we watch like 5 of them?
No, we stopped.
I feel like the last like 3 seasons we watched. Episode 1 was great. Episode 2 is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Episodes 3 through 9, or however many fucking episodes there were, dog shit. Absolutely terrible filler. We need to make a whole season to this show.
Mm-hmm.
Final episode's great. Like,
I think there were 6 seasons. It's because the book is only like partial season 1.
This should be higher, and it's only number 32. Veep.
Oh, it should be number 2.
31 is Fleabag, another show that you would highly enjoy.
It got canceled.
What? Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
I knew that. Number 30, again, fuck off, should not be on this list. Game of Thrones.
8 seasons. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, we watched like 3.
No, there's not 8.
7?
It was something else. Here, let me. 7. No, maybe. 7, yeah.
Yeah, we watched like 3 seasons. We always got to the end, like, or no, we'd be like the second episode from the end or third episode from the end, and we're like, do we just stop watching this? Because this kind of sucks. And the finale would happen, and you're like, all right, now you've got me roped in again.
Right now I want to see what's going to happen.
And then you'd get 3 episodes into the next season, you're like, oh, this show fucking blows. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just
I don't even think we got...
We definitely finished whatever season
I don't think we did. I thought we ended like...
No, because the finale was that whatever season we stopped watching, the finale was they're in that weird swimming pool that was like they walled off.
Yeah.
And then the prison like is on fire. Like we didn't watch.
They shoot a guard.
We didn't watch the season where they all get separated to different prisons. We watched the season before that was the last season we watched.
I think I tried.
And we both made the decision of like, I said to you, I'm like, you can watch the next season if you want. I'm not investing another however many days of my life to watch this dog shit TV show.
If the show interests you, read the book. Because the book is phenomenal.
But yeah, 30 is Game of Thrones, and you can fuck off. You don't make... Veep was good beginning to end.
Veep was almost... Veep got better.
I will never call a show one of the best shows of the 21st century, the 20th century, of all time, whatever. When you have like 4 good seasons, then your last 2 seasons are terrible.
And like really, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're up here. Your second to last season is maybe here, and then your last season is like...
Yeah. Right, like each episode just gets worse and worse and worse. I didn't watch it, I just know.
Any show where someone who worked on the show has to come out and go, your TVs are the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah, not great.
Broad City on 29, a show that I always wanted to watch and I never did. How To with John Wilson. See, that sounds very familiar. It was an HBO show. Parks and Recreation, number 27.
That's not higher than Veep.
No, definitely not. I love that show. I'm kind of surprised it's on here.
I'm not. The Office is probably number 2.
The Office is going to be like fucking number 1, and that's so stupid. Battlestar Galactica.
No, it's going to be Breaking Bad's number 1.
Review. That I didn't see every episode of that show, but it was very funny. So the premise of the show was Andy Daly, who you would know him to see him. That's not a great picture. I'm not going to show you that picture.
Is he the Weeby Sadiba?
Oh my god, he is. That is him. He's the voice of the cop on Big Titty Greens.
Mm-hmm. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I do know who that is.
Does it give here a good, like... There it is. Our protagonist is Forrest McNeil, played by Andy Daly, whose job it is to undertake life experiences and rate them on a 5-star scale.
Wow.
So basically the premise of the show was he did like real life things. Breaking up with someone, getting broken up with. Like that kind of mundane shit. And then at the end of the show he would review them. And it was hysterical.
Oh, that sounds
fun. It was so funny. I May Destroy You on BBC One and HBO. Survivor. Better Things.
Oh, I watched that.
On FX. Deadwood. Peep Show. Rectify, Sundance TV. See, some of these are Friday Night Lights. That's number 18.
Ooh, we're getting up there.
Halt and Catch Fire. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I'm going to be so mad at the rest of this fucking list.
Is Breaking Bad number there?
Number 16 is Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
Fuck off.
Wow.
15 is Atlanta. I didn't watch it, but you're not going to fucking tell me it's better than Breaking Bad. Enlightened.
Oh, why now? So The Office is number 1.
In an era awash with stories about very bad men doing very, very bad things, Enlightened's innovation was the realization that people doing very good things could be pretty awful too.
Weird.
Again, you're not going to tell me it's better than that. 30 for 30? What the fuck is this list?
The ESPN show.
The Americans? I gave up on that show in like season 3 or 4.
Was that the one where Claire Danes was always crying?
No, that's Homeland. That was another show where you had a great storyline and then you killed off Brody and the show was fucking terrible after that.
It seems like it's probably going to pop up on this list.
Probably. No, The Americans was these two.
Oh.
And they were Russian spies.
Carrie Wilson? Carrie something.
Matthew Reese, Kerry Russell.
There you go, Kerry Russell.
They were Russian spies.
Yeah.
Like during the Cold War.
Yep.
I gave up on it. I watched.
I didn't start.
I mean, the early seasons were great that I watched. Then I got into one season and I'm like, this is boring. So again, you are not going to tell me it's better than Breaking Bad.
I didn't even start. So.
The Daily Show. See, this is a weird. I don't know.
Because it's just like any show on TV.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to do. Which is a weird thing to do because, like, I love The Daily Show, but, like, am I calling it one of the best shows on TV?
Well, it's just weird to, like, put it in the same.
Because while it is a comedy show, like, it's also news. Like,
it's topical.
Oh. BoJack Horseman is number 10.
No, it's not.
I love BoJack Horseman. Would I put it at number 10? Probably not.
It's not better than Veep.
No, well, Veep is way too... I'm taking Veep out of the equation because Veep is way too fucking low? High?
Low.
Low on this list? So is Breaking Bad. Like, seriously. Fuck. Breaking Bad is the greatest television show of all time.
Wait. Sons of Anarchy's not on here.
What I have a feeling is number 1. I didn't watch. I really want to.
The Sopranos.
But I haven't watched it. So out of the shows that I have watched, I can tell you that Breaking Bad is the greatest show of all time.
If it is The Sopranos, I would not. I think that show is probably.
That being said, do I think BoJack Horseman is number 10? Probably not. Should it be on this list?
Sure. Yes.
You didn't watch it to the end. I did. The finale, the final season gets real dark and real deep, but the payoff was so good. It was such a great finale. Freaks and Geeks, I did not watch, but I really wanted to.
I did watch some episodes.
Fuck off. Number 8 is fucking Girls.
Yeah, it got really bad.
By what season?
The first 3 I think are okay. What is it? 5 seasons?
Yeah, just 2012 to 2017.
The final season where she has a baby. Oh.
I don't know. I suffered through like 3 because you liked that show.
I did like it the first season.
And I hated like every moment of it. I mean, some of it was some of it was tolerable. Other parts of it were awful.
And it just gets worse.
Yeah.
I
was like binging 3 seasons, and in like you can watch it progressively get worse every episode.
Yeah,
And in the modern era, I am by no means body shaming anybody. I don't need to see Lena Dunham's naked fucking body every fucking episode of this show.
It did start to get to a point where like
she was naked all the fucking time. It was
just unnecessary.
Exactly.
It wasn't even like
I'm like, I don't know what reality this is. And maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know anyone who just walks around their fucking house and their apartment naked all the time.
Yeah, there was just a lot of Well, and there was a lot of parts where it's like,
and she strikes you as the kind of person who did it, so that when people critiqued her for it, she can go out in the world like, you're just body shaming me. Because Lena Dunham is a fucking piece of shit.
Well, yeah. She has since made plenty of comments.
And I hate talking shit on that show because Judd Apatow worked on it, and I love Judd Apatow, and like everything else you've done is
Adam
great.
Driver was on that show.
Yes, which is like a huge blemish on his career, in my opinion. Same thing with what's her name, Allison Williams.
Well, she's kind of a piece of shit too. So
why?
There's her dad, but
is he the one that?
Yes.
Is it him or is it the other guy?
No, it's him. That lied about 9/11, or lied about.
No, it wasn't 9/11. It was
Iraq.
Yeah, something with Iraq. Was it Brian Williams?
Yes.
I always forget.
But that's not why she is. Like, I'm pretty sure she's not a great person either.
This kind of blows my mind. I mean, I loved this show. Number 7 is Better Call Saul.
So they put Better Call Saul above Breaking Bad?
Like, way above Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was number 16. I mean, I loved Better Call Saul.
I didn't. I gave up on it.
I don't know why you did. It was so good.
I think I just did not want another. I just didn't want another like drama show.
I think the problem. No, I think the problem was I started whatever season. We watched season 1, season 2, whatever it was. Like we watched them together, and then when this season premiered, I think I started it without you, and then you just never cared to get. But you left on like one of the best. Because it was whatever season his brother dies.
No, I stopped way before that.
No, you did not. You stopped the season before that. Because I was telling you about it as it was happening.
Then I definitely didn't even watch a full season.
That's when yes, you did. You watched all of like season 1 and 2. Because it's the trial. It's the trial between him and his brother. And the end of that whole thing is his brother dies. So good. God, that was such a good show. Reservation Dogs. I wanted to watch that. That's number 6. That is a Taika Waititi show. Top 5. The Wire.
Ooh, great show.
30 Rock. I guess we'll do this. This makes more sense.
Not better than Veep, but okay. I mean, still, it was a good show.
Succession.
Didn't watch it.
The Sopranos.
Whoa, so The Office is number 1. Is Friends number 1?
First of all, I have gripes with this list that I have clearly vocalized here. Thank you very much that Friends is not on this list.
Well, they were
at
also.
all.
They only had 2 seasons in
Doesn't
the
matter.
20th
Which tells you something.
Century.
Because they could have ranked those 2 seasons.
I mean, they were not their best.
No.
I mean, the final episode was great.
And also, thank you. The Office is not on this list.
Holy shit.
Thank you. Someone finally had the gravitas to say, that show isn't that great.
It's not. It didn't age well at all.
Well, I think it did, because that's the kind of humor it was intended to be.
It's supposed to be cringy.
It aged just fine. It's just not a good show.
It's just not funny.
Here's my... So I will say this, because it is an okay show. I think people are starting to sour on The Office for the same reason some people are sour on Taylor Swift, for the same reason some people are sour on the Beatles, because you are just bludgeoned over the head with this idea of like, this is the greatest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
And then eventually people were like, it's not though.
Well, and I think...
Because you are hit like everywhere you go. When you talk about TV, it's The Office, The Office, The Office.
But I think the reality is, it's not that like everybody in America loved The Office. It's that some people loved it and continue to just watch it incessantly.
You're like, oh, did you watch Midnight Mass? I tried, but like, I just put it on The Office. When
right,
I'm doing
because
something.
it's
like, fuck off.
But
And there was the whole uproar when it was going off of Netflix and coming onto Peacock. And Peacock's whole selling point was like, come watch The Office. And it's like,
but the idea
why?
is because when, especially like during COVID and like when things feel very unsettled and uncertain, the best thing for you to do is rewatch something where you already know how it ends.
Well, not so to be a dick,
because I know was what people relied on.
Not to be a dick, because I know people who listen to the show fall in that camp. But also, like, this article talked about at the beginning, you are in the golden age of television. Put on something else.
But they want to watch something where they know exactly what's going to happen.
You want something familiar. Fine. Put on Cheers. Put on Frasier. Put on any of the shows from like the 90s and the early 2000s that were actually good all the way through.
For some reason,
The Office is cringy to the point of like, at some point it's not funny. It's just like, I can't watch this. And then it gets funny, and then Steve Carell leaves, and it's again cringy, but not intentionally cringy. Yeah, it's cringy and like you're trying too hard.
The first season is weird.
And then you have a grand finale that's fantastic because Steve Carell comes back, and it's very emotional.
It's the wedding, right?
And it's funny, yeah. It's Dwight's wedding.
Yeah.
Dwight and Angela.
Yeah.
But like, because then Ed Helms is there. But then guess what? Ed Helms also fucking leaves. Like,
yeah.
It was just a show
just rewatch Veep.
It's just a show that should not have stayed on the air as long as it did.
Watch Veep instead. Or if you want a show like that, watch Parks and Rec.
Watch Parks and Rec.
It's better.
Oh, you know what else isn't on here? And again, thank you. I liked the show. Would not have put it on this list. The Good Place.
Oh,
another show I think people talk too highly of.
Yeah, but like I think it was a flash in the pan. People don't talk about it anymore.
Well, it was a flash in the pan of greatness for 2 seasons.
Yeah, but like
I'll give you. How long did it run?
3
Was it 4?
No, I don't think it. Oh, maybe.
I think it was 4 seasons, and seasons 1 through 3 were not terrible.
Yeah.
But I think that was also a show where you kind of painted yourself into a hole.
Mm-hmm.
You painted yourself into a corner, and then the finale was not great. People love it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that deep of a person. I just didn't care for the finale of that show. I didn't care for a show that spent an entire series with the whole like, oh, we're in the good place. This is actually the bad place.
Right.
How do we get into the good place? Then you finally get to the good place, and you're like, I've been doing this long enough where this is kind of boring now. I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, well, you just walk over there and just permanently kill yourself.
Yeah. It was weird.
And the guy who's a god, who over the course of the series wants to be a human, we're going to also make him a human. And like, so the 4 humans you've come to love are now permanently dead, and this guy's a human. Cool.
Yeah.
But like I said,
So what are the top 2?
Not to be aggressive. Number 2 was The Sopranos. We talked about this.
Oh.
So but again,
number 1?
Not to be a dick about The Office, but I just think it's not that great. Mad Men.
Oh, I never watched it.
I really want to. I really want to. I thought for sure The Sopranos was going to be number 1. Again, I didn't watch this. I really want to watch The Sopranos.
I wouldn't have been surprised. I know, like, people talk so highly of almost everything you hear.
What's funny with The Sopranos is too, you talk about a show like Game of Thrones, which I guess, granted, it wasn't like an entire season of The Sopranos was terrible, because the finale is very divisive.
Well, it's just how it ends.
That's what I mean. But like,
not the whole episode. It's not even the whole episode.
But the finale, the period on the end of this entire series is very divisive, to the point of I feel like some people would take it off this list. Because I have the same feeling with, but like I said, Game of Thrones was like an entire season and a half was fucking terrible.
But it's not that it was bad. It was just people wanted more answers and they didn't get them. Yeah. But sometimes the point of that is to like leave it up to your interpretation. So it's like, what do you think happened?
I really want to watch both of them.
Yeah, I really want to watch Mad Men.
I need to get on a kick of like, I need to just start doing it when you go to bed. Because like I watched The Fall of the House of Usher when you went to bed. And I think they're an hour. So, like, I could just, granted, there's fucking 10 seasons or whatever, but, like,
Of The
watch
Sopranos?
of both of them. They both ran for a
I
pretty
don't.
long
I
time.
don't know how many Mad Men had.
Let me see if I go back. 5 through. No, I went 5 through 1. Mad Men ran from 2007 to 2015, and Sopranos ran from 1999 to 2007. But I'm just going to blow through this quick because I'm very curious.
And then The Sopranos had 6.
There are 50 films. I'm just going to blow through this.
No.
I was just curious. Weekend, never heard of it. Black Panther. Time, never heard of it. Bright Star, never heard of it. Pariah, never heard of it. Bridesmaids.
Oh.
Things to Come, never heard of it. Grizzly Man, never heard of it. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, never heard of it. Pan's Labyrinth.
Never heard of it.
You've heard of it. It's the fucking guy with the eyeballs in his hands and... Was it a Henson thing? Oh no. You've definitely heard of Pan's Labyrinth.
That's just... no.
You never heard of that movie?
No.
I feel like
I've heard of Labyrinth, and that's it.
I feel like you would see pictures from it, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that. You've definitely seen pictures from that movie. Summer of Soul, I'm Not Your Negro.
I've never heard of any of these.
Children of Men, I've heard of those. Wendy and Lucy, I've never heard of. Lovers Rock, I've never heard of.
What the heck?
The Favorite. That was, yes, you've heard of that one. That was the one with Olivia Colman. Emma Stone is in that movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it. The Social Network.
Ooh.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Nope.
The Return. Manchester by the Sea. Very, very controversial movie. 31. Also, no. Was that one A24? That also may be an A24 movie.
Manchester?
That's one of their weird ones where, like, this isn't a horror movie, but we produced it. Like, A24 is Uncut Gems. Not a horror movie, but we produced it.
Oh, you can tell because it's like...
I feel like there's a couple of comedies where it's like, oh yeah, these are A24 movies. It's like, why?
Vice? Oh no, that's Adam McKay.
Yeah, Vice is not not A24. Marie Antoinette. The Death of Mr. Lazarus. I don't know what the fuck that last name is. I've never heard of that movie. A Serious Man. Ooh, I really wanted to see this. Coen Brothers movie. At Berkeley, never heard of it. Y Tu Mama También, heard of it, never saw it. Call Me by Your Name, never saw it. A24. Timbuktu. 35 Shots of Rum.
Jeez.
Before Sunset.
Are these like of all time?
21st Century.
Oh,
so far.
God.
Parasite. Far From Heaven. Number 20. Drive My Car. Shoplifters. Talk to Her.
Where's Baby Driver?
I want to see... See, I feel like this does not... I'll have to go back and look at the top. This feel like does not have the same... So the parameters of the TV one was it had to be English shows. I feel like a lot of these are not.
Oh.
Because I'm seeing a lot... Not that they can't be, but I'm seeing a lot of Asian actors. And usually that means that...
Right.
Because American cinema doesn't really give Asian actors starring roles. I'm going to guess that they're not American movies. 16. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Ooh, wait. Great movie.
I never saw it. Power of the Dog. Wally, number 14.
What?
Burning. Moonlight. Best Picture winner. Moonlight. In case you're wondering. Not La La Land. That was the... That was the Oscars. It's not La La Land. It's Moonlight.
the faux pas.
Boyhood, number 11. Number 10. Get Out.
Ooh.
4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. In the Mood for Love. Number 7. Ooh, Brokeback Mountain.
Wow.
Spirited Away.
The animated horse movie?
No, that's Spirit.
What's Spirited Away?
Anime.
Oh, okay.
Mulholland Drive. Number 5. Number 4. Fuck yeah. Zodiac.
Ooh!
Great movie.
That was such a good movie.
The Gleaners and I.
Man.
Inside Llewyn Davis. I saw this movie. Would I call it the second best movie of the 21st century so far? No.
I feel like I didn't hear reviews that would have.
And number 1 is some movie called Yi Yi. Although it was completed in 1999, Edward Yang's magnum opus didn't premiere until the spring of 2000.
Then it's not a movie of the 21st century. It's a movie from...
No. It premiered in the spring of 2000, so it came out in the year 2000.
Right, but everything about it is from the 20th century.
Doesn't matter. This goes from when it came out. Also, this whole list screams that you are snobby asshole film critics.
Yeah.
Because I have... Granted, I am an American. I don't watch a lot of movies that are foreign movies, but I've never heard of a time. Even the movies that are clearly not foreign movies, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. That list was a bit... They definitely didn't have the same parameters, because it was a bit like deep film.
Yeah, and it's very much like
deep looking into a film catalog.
Looking at the movies that I did know and some of the pictures, like it's like number 14 is WALL-E. Come on.
And like it's
come on, number 14 of the best films of the 21st century so far is fucking WALL-E.
Of all the Disney,
you are screaming that like you're looking for deep, thought-provoking, like real activist kind of like, not to say that Get Out is not a great movie, but you really put that on this list of like, it really speaks to like black culture and this and that. Like that's why you put it on this list. You did not put it on this list because it was a good fucking movie.
Even though it was such a good movie. And I'm a horror movie like wuss.
Yeah. It's in the Brokeback Mountain. I didn't see a Brokeback Mountain. I've heard great things, but I haven't seen it. But it's on this list because the critics...
right, because of its message or whatever.
I still can't get over fucking Breaking Bad at number 16. Kiss my ass. Well, there you have it, folks. That's all we've got for this week's installment of The Friends You Can Keep. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Hope you're as angry as I am that Breaking Bad is number 16.
I'm surprised it's...
I mean, a lot of that list was shocking to me.
Yeah. There was a lot of redeeming qualities because they didn't just go with like your like typical.
Well, we are so used to lists that are...
I'm surprised Seinfeld wasn't on it.
Like, if it was the Rolling Stones, you would have definitely seen fucking... You would have definitely seen The Office. You would have definitely seen Friends. And we probably did the Rolling Stone one.
Oh, you know why you didn't see Seinfeld? Because it only ran until 1998.
I didn't think Seinfeld was in the 2000s.
I thought it was like 2000, 2001.
There may be a revival coming of some sort. Because the series finale is very divisive. And Jerry Seinfeld he was doing a stand-up event and someone asked him or something and he said like, he alluded to like there may be something coming about that. And then someone asked Julia Louis-Dreyfus about it. She's like, I don't have a fucking clue what he's talking about.
That would be fun. The reboot we're waiting for. I guess it's not really a reboot.
It's like already out.
Oh, no, I thought it was November. Frasier?
I thought it came out already.
I thought it was like November 2nd.
It might be November. I could be wrong. Seinfeld is another show that I want to watch. I haven't watched like every episode of Seinfeld, but I want to. I think I started when it came to Netflix, but I just never...
I watched a lot of it, but like when I was young...
I also really want to watch... I'm shocked that's not on that list. Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's a lot of shows, though, because like... I mean, Dexter was not great. But I thought, like, because with Sopranos and The Wire, I mean, there's a ton of shows from HBO on there, but I remember, like... Anarchy. I remember, like, Boardwalk Empire was this like huge show when it was on. But then I didn't watch it, but that was because my parents No, we had HBO, but I wasn't like when that show was on TV. I wasn't watching like.
Is that the show with Jeremy Piven?
No, that's Entourage.
Entourage. That was a big one too, though.
Yeah, big for the sake of like it was entertaining, but no one is ranking that as like
I never watched it, so I didn't know. Like
I saw bits and pieces of it. It's definitely not a show people are like, man, Entourage was great. Entourage is usually the butt of the joke.
Oh.
Even though people liked it, that show was
was one where like you watched it knowing full well like this is garbage TV.
I even like Jeremy Piven, and I just never watched that.
He's always the friend. And he looks like Dave Matthews.
He's always an asshole.
And he's always the friend.
I really liked The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, or whatever that movie's called. It was very like I feel like it was a very indie movie, and I only saw it because Jeremy Piven was. I feel like somebody else is in it too, but it's very fun. No, Boardwalk Empire is the one with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
When they're starting Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
That was another show, like when it was on, it was like it won Emmys and it was this and that. Also, no offense to The Daily Show, but like if you're gonna put shows like that on there, how is Conan not on there?
I don't think a lot of people like him. Just seems like they don't.
I think you are greatly mistaken, my dear.
I don't really like him.
When you ask anyone about late night television, Johnny Carson, Dave Letterman, Conan O'Brien.
Dave Letterman?
You know who Dave Letterman is.
Which is the guy with the really weird face? The big nose. Jay Leno.
Big chin.
That's what I was thinking.
Jay Leno was an asshole.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think people liked
Jay Leno? No.
Yeah.
No, people do not like Jay Leno.
No,
and you know why people don't like Jay Leno?
Because of Conan O'Brien.
Because he screwed Conan O'Brien, which should tell you that people love Conan O'Brien.
I mean, I think that Conan O'Brien is a good person. I think he's funny. I do not care for late night TV at all. There hasn't been one where I'm like, yeah, I could watch this every day.
His is a show that if you did want to ever watch late night, you would watch Conan. Because his was I
just don't like the setup.
But his is not. That's why people allowed Carson, Letterman, and Conan. Because they are not your typical cookie cutter late night talk shows. Like Carson did the Tonight Show the way Carson did the Tonight Show, and then Dave Letterman came in and Dave Letterman reinvented late night. And then Conan came in and did the exact same thing. Like, it's so good. Conan is easily the third greatest late night talk show host of all time. Number 4 is Craig Ferguson. And no one ever talks about him as a late night talk show host, and they should. Because the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson was so amazing. Funny. That show was
How long did it run, though?
Long? A while. Oh. He was the host for a while. And that show was like a goddamn fever dream. Like, that was a late night talk show that, like, he'll tell you should not.
Then who was it? James Corden?
James Corden took over after him. And now James Corden is leaving, and they're kind of doing away with the Late Late Show. It's now going to be at midnight.
Oh, they're bringing back at midnight?
Yeah, on CBS, which makes me kind of worried, but I don't know. And they haven't really given any details other than, like, they're just going to bring that show back.
Oh.
But, like, is it going to be the same show?
Right.
Are you going to get...
I do remember. But that one was a little...
Are you going to get Chris Hardwick to host it?
That one was a little different. It wasn't really like a late night talk show.
No. It was a game show.
Yeah.
I missed that show. I love that show.
I do remember. I liked their, like...
I also didn't realize, like, there's comedians that I feel like I now like because I saw them on that show. Because I couldn't think, like... The other day I thought about Paul F. Tompkins, and I'm like, where would I have seen Paul F. Tompkins first to be such a fan of his? But, like, it had to have been at midnight.
Probably.
It was either at midnight or, like, Comedy Central had like a stand-up clip or something, but like it had to have been at midnight that I saw him. Ron Funches. I'm pretty sure the first place I ever saw Ron Funches was at midnight. Like tons of them. I think Chris Hardwick I first saw. I feel like I came into him from at midnight.
He's the host, right?
Well, no. I may have come into Chris Hardwick because the Nerdist YouTube channel used to do like they did bowling with celebrities. He was always the host because he ran Nerdist, but like they had wrestlers on, they had comedians on. So I may have come into Chris Hardwick through like that stuff. But yeah, then he was the host of At Midnight. But I feel like that was the first place I saw Paul. I know Ron Funches definitely was the first place I saw him. Was at midnight. But like, if I really went back, like if I looked through my Instagram at comedians that I follow, there's definitely a time where I'd be like, "Oh, that was the first place I saw you. That was the first place I saw you." And
Well-
then I didn't. And then you don't realize like Emily Fleming from Mythical was on at midnight.
Oh.
Like I did not realize that until she was like
Well, and
sharing
it's-
clips for a story or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit.
And I think like the lane of comedy that you prefer.
Oh, I love it. I loved that show.
But that's how it's gonna happen. Like there's so much overlap.
Yeah, definitely.
And even people that you probably don't even remember were on that show.
Yeah.
That now you like them, but at the time maybe you didn't know who they were, or like you didn't realize like that was the first place you had seen them.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I mean with Paul F. Tompkins. And that had to have been because he did that before BoJack.
Yeah, long before.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, I was trying to think back because I'm like, well, no, because when I watched BoJack, I knew it was him.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't watch BoJack. Like, oh,
No.
who was the guy who does Mr. Peanut Butter? Like, I knew it was Paul F. Tompkins.
It already.
So it had, and like I said, same thing with Ron Funches. But those are the two that I can think off the top of my head. That to think now,
There's like tons.
Oh, there definitely is. But to think now, like I wouldn't ever think that's the first place I saw them. But then when you put thought to it, of like, where did I first come across? Because it's not like, I think his name's Nate Jackson, Matt Rife. Like, there's more comedians now that I'm coming across because your TikToks are in my For You page.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there are definite comedians that I love that like the first place I saw you was 1000% at midnight. Probably Natasha Leggero.
Oh, maybe.
And Moshe Kasher. That was probably the first place I ever saw the two of them. Yeah, I could go on and on, but that was definitely that show, and that fit my lane of comedy so well.
Well, hopefully.
That show
I'll watch it when it comes to, obviously not like live, but
my lane of comedy was that, and Whose Line Is It Anyway?
What a great show.
Nothing ever made me happier than being a child watching TV and hearing welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Yep.
A line that will be ingrained in my brain forever.
It's so funny.
And I've always wanted to put it like, I'm mad not more people did it, and I don't want to do it now that I'm talking about it on the show. But like, that would have been a great like Instagram, Twitter bio.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, welcome to my Instagram, where everything is made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. There is a bit of a, not that it matters to anyone, but I feel like I should mention it. Both of the shows are now, so the audio used to go up at 10 a.m. on Mondays. I am now putting it out at 7 a.m. on Mondays because I scheduled to upload it. I'm not sitting here at 7 a.m. uploading it. But I figured, I don't know why I thought of it. Oh, I thought of it the one day at work because now when I'm driving around, because I am predominantly driving my own vehicle, I have podcasts on when I'm driving now, because that's the only time I can really listen to them uninterrupted, is when I'm driving to and from jobs. And I thought of that and Good Mythical Morning, where like they have it out in the morning so you can watch it.
Right.
So I thought like, oh, well, me putting it on at 10, if you're listening to it at work, you're already at work, whatever. But if I put it out earlier, you could listen to it on your way to work.
By the time people are like scrolling and looking for something, it's there.
They now go out at 7, and I'm pretty sure I have the YouTube episodes also go out at 7, but the YouTube show doesn't come out until Tuesday. So if you're a devoted listener who's been here since the beginning, you get the audio a day early. And thankfully, as of this moment, we are not a podcast where you have to watch it. I don't think we'll ever get to that point because I don't really care for those, but like,
Well, right, because then it sort of loses.
Yeah. Like, as funny as I think Your Mom's House is, I have never even attempted to listen to Your Mom's House.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
I wanted to listen to one to just see, like, what does this sound like? Because I've never listened to it. I've always watched it.
I can tell you from being upstairs when you have it on, and like, I'm not listening fully, but I'm also not because I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's weird because they refer so heavily.
Because they are watching clips.
In parts, not the whole thing.
Yeah, because they are watching clips of videos. They're watching video clips and reacting to them. So if you're not seeing what they're seeing, I feel like it's a very stupid podcast.
Sometimes
to listen to.
Sometimes it works okay, and sometimes it you feel lost.
Yeah.
And especially if you miss, like, if I come in on it mid.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't realize they're watching a clip, then you're like, what are you talking about?
Well, we have other ideas for stuff that you could do it on the podcast, but it would be a bit more visual.
Yeah.
But I think when we start to get down that road, we're just going to start doing like other series on our YouTube channel. Because
you have the podcast and then a separate video.
would like to, my goal is to start to branch out on the YouTube channel. Whether that be doing like more visual rank, because we do a lot of ranking on this show. We do a lot of bracket stuff and all that kind of shit. Doing more like that kind of thing. Getting into your ripping off GMM thing where like we're doing who has the best French fries, who has the best this, who has like, because we've done that on the show before, but
yeah,
you can do it a little differently when you have a visual aspect to it.
Right, because you could actually have them.
Stuff like that, whether it be, because I am a very amateur comedy writer. If I ever did get into like doing bits that I've written with other people, that would obviously go on the YouTube channel. Like, so at some point in time, that is the goal, is to branch out into doing other things besides just the podcast. So if I would have to venture to guess that our podcast will never get to the point of you have to watch it.
Right, because the other stuff is... There's other videos.
There are other videos that you can watch, but we will probably keep this as a, like, you can listen to it or you can watch it. Because I also, there are ones that you could... Smosh Mouth is one of them. Two Bears is kind of falls into that, where you don't have to watch it, but something about watching, I think more because they are comedians.
Right, it's funnier.
I don't know, something about seeing it to me is better than watching it.
Well, and...
Because even, I listen to Conan's podcast all the time, but like when they share the clips, like, I don't know, I think the clips are funnier for some reason. Yeah. I don't know if it's because you're seeing... I think part of it is seeing people reacting to things. Yeah. So you're seeing them, even if it's just a joke or an anecdote, whatever, like you're seeing the reaction to it. You're not just hearing it. The visual...
when you can see people's
body language, all that kind of stuff is a big key, I think.
Especially, too, like if it's not... Sometimes, like, the dry jokes or, like, the little... Where, like, it's only funny because people are funny sort of notion. You pick up more when you see people than when you just hear it.
Exactly. But follow us on social media at The Friends You Keep. If you're not watching this on YouTube and you're just listening to it, head over to the YouTube channel at The Friends You Can Keep, because I'm pretty sure The Friends You Can Keep was taken on social media. It was not taken on YouTube. Hindsight,
maybe one day I'll be able to stop yawning.
Hindsight, I probably should have kept it all the same, but whatever. We're making progress on our YouTube channel, looking better. I'm working on... The banner was very, like... Shame on YouTube for not telling you the banner properly. I don't think we have one right now, because what I uploaded on phones and tablets was just scribbles. Because it's like, oh, make it this big, and then you make it that big. But they don't tell you that's what you will see when you put it on a television. So I had to rework it.
Most people are probably doing it on their phone.
Well, your phone or your tablet, but like the dimensions they give you, like make it no bigger than this or whatever. But then when you upload it, it's like, oh, here's the box that people are seeing on their phone. Here's the box people are seeing on a tablet. Here's the box people are seeing on a TV. And I'm like, cool. Well, my logo is big enough for the fucking TV. So
Right.
that on the phone, it is literally just fucking
Right,
lines.
you're seeing the bottoms of everything.
But I looked it up because it also doesn't give you the dimensions. It doesn't say like for this, it should be this dimension. So I had to look it up, but I found it. I'm putting the finishing touches on it now. So that will be changed very soon. Follow us there, like and subscribe, rate us and review us on the podcast platform, whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Yeah, I think that's all the stuff I have to say at the end. I always forget, like, I'm not yet amassed in this enough. We've done 100 episodes of the show, and I'm not yet fully into, like, the don't forget to like and subscribe and
Punch
rate
the
and
bell.
review and punch that notification bell, like all
Punch
that
the
stuff.
bell. That's the only one I ever remember.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. We love you, and as always, thank you for being a friend.